It's March right now. We're putting these blueberries in before everything really starts to kick off and start growing. These are the blueberries that were here before we even started. They'd been neglected for a couple years, so they had a lot of old unproductive wood on them and a lot of dead wood on them too. Last year the guys pruned them back pretty aggressively, and they've put out some new healthy new growth, so that's good. We definitely had some that were just not gonna make it. They were either totally dead or mostly dead, so we ripped some of those out, and there were some spots missing anyway, and now we're just filling in some of those spots on some of these blueberries planted along our little road there. We call it the Blueberry Highway. It's not much of a highway, but it's just our little path here. There are already a bunch of blueberries there. We're just kind of filling in the gaps. And then we're gonna go to the other farm and plant quite a few more and fill in those old rows, also neglected blueberries.
What'd you guys pack for lunch today?
Chicken sandwich. Oh, sorry. So how many blueberries are we gonna try to get in the ground here at least? Because are we gonna, okay, so there's that big gap in the front.
We're just filling in
the patches inside the row?
Yeah, we'll just fill in all the big gaps.
Because I think there's only like 1 or 2 big gaps that I can think of.
There's a gap on this side of blueberries and then on this side.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Yeah. Those are about 15 to 30 plants.
I mean, we wouldn't have even planted blueberries there,
yeah,
but since they're there,
it's already there.
Yeah, fill them in.
Unless you want to retransplant all of them.
No, I'm good on that. But yeah, all right.
How many do you want to pull out just to start with?
Let's say 20.
20? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, just 1 more. Our intention with the berries we're planting is to have a good naturally grown fruit, pick your own operation. Thought about doing some blueberry ice cream and stuff like that.
Kind of thinking it might be easier to plant these things first.
Up to you. I mean, personally, I'm skeptical just because I'm envisioning having to roll it, pick up the roll, haul it over.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be annoying, but how are we gonna plant these things properly when we're just planting through a little hole?
Yeah. The extra dirt.
Yeah, I thought that was just gonna make a mess of the paper, basically trying to plant it.
Yeah,
like
let's do it over the roll.
What?
Let's do it over
plant
the roll.
and then put the roll over?
Yeah. So the planting process for the blueberries, we're basically we're digging a hole just a little bit bigger than the pot, and then we're just putting that plant right in the hole, and then we're gonna cover it up with paper to keep the weeds down. So this year we are gonna try out some biodegradable landscape fabric. It's essentially just like paper that's meant to break down naturally into the soil. We're looking at a section of blueberry area. We didn't mulch last season, so it's basically a lawn right now. And now we're thinking we're just gonna run the paper landscape fabric, cut some holes into it or whatever, and then plant directly into that to keep the weeds down. Kind of just like a test to see how it's gonna go, because we haven't used it before, but also because it would kind of be practical in this scenario because we don't really feel like spending a ton of time preparing the soil. Really the paper is key. It is the key to, how we're doing it here, to just keep those weeds down, because it's just, not a good idea typically to just dig a hole and plant something and establish grass. It's just gonna compete a lot with the roots, obviously. We're gonna hold off on mulching this. We wanna see how this paper works and how fast it breaks down out here. If the weeds are growing through this stuff, then we'll just have to mulch over top of it also. But we're gonna give it a shot without any mulch on top for a little while, which is how it's designed to be used anyway. So we're finished up filling in this little gap here and a few other missing berry bushes in these 2 rows, and we're gonna load up the rest of our blueberries in the truck and head over to the other farm. we're at the other farm. We're about to plant some more blueberries. These rows of blueberries were also kind of neglected for a few years. They just weren't cut back at all, so there was a whole lot of really old wood on there that needed to be cut off. We're gonna have to rejuvenate these things over the course of a few seasons, instead of just cutting at the bottom basically, which we could try, but a lot of them probably wouldn't recover. So we're gonna do it gradually, and we're also gonna plant in some of these gaps where they're just missing blueberries. So yeah, we're gonna plant quite a few here. We need to get this scrap a little more organized. Very organized. How many blueberries do we have, roughly?
200.
200. Yeah, we're about to plant around 200 blueberries, so it'll probably take us a couple days, but this will all be blueberries.
At the moment, we're about to measure out again, just this length, just to see how many plants we need to put to fill out this row. And we're probably keeping around the same spacing, so 5 feet between each blueberry.
I beat you. Do you want the other shovel?
Oh, dude, this is a great shovel, man.
I guess. You don't have to make the hole that big.
You need good money for it. Yeah. We're not gonna lay down paper here like we did at the other spot. That was more of an experiment. We're gonna come in and put a nice heavy layer of mulch on everything, probably cultivate a little bit more. We have to remove some of this old stuff, this old drip tape that's been left here, and these plants have grown around there. We're getting rid of some of the landscape fabric, as much of it as we can. It's just kind of laying between the plants. And when we get the sheep over here, we're gonna definitely use a sheep to keep the weeds down. Between sheep and weed whackers, if it comes to that, and a thick layer of mulch, that's our plan for the weeds.
Oh, but a lot faster. Yes. Vamos en soil feels delicado.
Once we get all of them planted, really the next steps is just seeing if we can run some irrigation in a headache-free way, and then putting some mulch over them here. But as far as getting set up, we're just a couple steps away from having some fruit in the next couple years.